Begin. So, by a show of hands, how many of you have a younger sibling? Okay, you can put your hands down. How many of the people who don't have a younger sibling maybe have a younger cousin, a younger family member of some kind? Now, this is for everyone. How many of you would trust a child to make a very important decision without any influence from adults? Thank you, John. But why is that? When did the stereotype of not trusting children come into play? When did people say, hey, children can't be trusted, they're just kids. They don't have any good ideas. In today's world, many people put aside children's ideas or help and don't take it, when really they should be taking in those ideas. Today, during this talk, I will be discussing how creative children truly are, the negative effects of not using children's ideas, and the overall environment of working with children. Now, I personally work with children a lot. I work at my local theater company. I direct, I help take care of the kids, and it's so much fun, and that's how I have learned this perspective of working with children. Now, I'm sure we've all seen a drawing by a child that just looks like a bunch of scribbles. No one could really understand what it was. Like this, it took a long time for me to understand what it was. But sometimes, when you look deeper into children's ideas, they can be truly creative in a way you never thought. Now, when we were researching TED Talks, you might have seen one by Doris Videk talking about what adults can learn from children. One of her main points was how creative children truly are. Now, I'm sure we've all done a project in science class where we have to build the tallest tower with paper and tape. Now, I did this once, and the announcer said at the end that the group they had previously done this with, who built the tallest tower and it stood stable, was a group of children, because they don't think of the factors that could limit it. They think of whatever pops into their head and it goes right on paper. Next, I'd like to be talking about the negative effects it has on children if you ignore their ideas. Now, if a child comes up to you and says, hey, can I help with that? Or I can carry that too. And you say, oh, no thanks, this is adult stuff. It can give them lower self-esteem and lower self-confidence. This can travel into their later years as if someone were to say, hey, can you help me with this? You could think to yourself, oh, I probably can't, as Sophia was saying, I can't do this. But really, if a child came up to someone and said, hey, I have an idea, and someone said, sure, I would love to use that. I've seen it first-handed when children come up to me and say, hey, we could do this dance move instead of this one. And I was like, that's a really good idea. I can see their face light up, and they get so excited, and it boosts their self-confidence through the roof and their self-love for themselves, because they think, hey, I can actually do something. I'm actually worth something. Finally, I would like to talk about the overall environment of working with children. So as stated before, I work at my local theater company. I work there about 2 days a week for 2 hours, and those are probably the best days of my week. That's what I look forward to every single week, just to get to be with those children. So this is a picture from after one of the show weekends I was working. We were doing The Wizard of Oz. These are my two friends. That's me. Excuse my goofness. And these are two of the children who work at the theater company. Now, I personally have bonded with them so much and have gotten a special relationship with them just because I work there every day. And this was probably one of the hardest show weekends I've ever had to do. Props were falling off the stage. It was chaos. But as you can see here, I was all smiles all weekend because I got to work with those children all weekend. Even though I was behind on homework, I needed to study for some tests, I was so happy to be there. Here's another picture from the show. We did Wizard of Oz, so that's why I did this. And as you can see again, I was so happy to see how these kids brought together this show and how amazing it was to be able to work with them. Now, I wanted to see how working with adults compares to this. And this is the first image on Google Images that comes up when you type up working with adults. As you can clearly see, this man is clearly stressed. Stress, work, worry, family, job, health. See, when I work with children, I don't have to worry about that. All I have to worry about is making sure they are safe. Now, I hope this talk has helped you. If a child ever comes up to you and says, hey, can I help you with that? Or hey, I have an idea. I hope you think back to my talk and learn and take all the information that I've come up with today. Thank you.